Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single weekday. So please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. You might notice that we've got a little bit of a different setup today because I am on my holidays, living up in the sunshine, but we are still doing these live streams every single day. I mean, it's important to be doing these right now because Bitcoin is dumping significantly here, so we need to be talking about that and seeing what's going on in the cryptocurrency markets. Good morning, Rob C. Thank you very much for tuning in, as always. We do really appreciate it. Let's take a look at what's going on with the Bitcoin price here. So first of all, it's trading at 67,464, down 7.6% within the last 24 hours. And Ethereum is down 7.8% as well to 3,669. Now we are looking at these lower prices. Bitcoin and Ethereum both dropped significantly yesterday. If we pull up the Ethereum chart here, you can see we have seen a significant pullback. Now, yesterday I was looking at this and I actually bought the dip. I entered a trade at this point here. I entered a trade here and then it started moving up and I was feeling pretty confident in my decision. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to put my stop loss in a profit and see what happens overnight. So I put my stop loss in. It was literally about $100 profit. And I thought, I'm going to let this one run because every time we've seen a dip in the last couple of weeks, we've got back up to those higher prices pretty quickly and made new all-time highs or new yearly highs for Ethereum pretty quickly. So I did that, woke up this morning, and my stop loss had been hit. So I did make the $100, but I wanted to make more than that. So that's what we saw there, a quick pump to the upside before continuing to the downside. Now, if we take a look at what's been happening in the last couple of weeks, you can see that we have had some of these pullbacks and they have been pretty sharp and pretty sudden. Now, what I don't like here is we're not being sharp and sudden. What we're seeing is the price action is coming down and we're continuously going down pretty slowly here. So this dump started last night. It's been going on through the night. Yes, we've had a couple of retracements over the time, but we're continuously testing some levels of support here and looking for lower prices. And typically when Bitcoin's going to go actually and Ethereum is going to go actually, it's time to pump again. We're going to see a super sharp wick before that move to the upside. That's what we've seen historically. You can see a perfect example of that here and here. And that is not what we've been given so far. So this is making me feel a little bit cautious that we could be seeing a little bit of a continuation in this downwards movement for the time being. Not much of a concern here though, because as we are prepared for these pullbacks in this market, we always know that in a bull market, it's common to see 20-30% pullbacks. And when we do, they're an opportunity to take advantage of at the end of the day. We have been wanting an opportunity to buy the dip. So you've got it here, whether you like it or not. It's whether we've got the courage to actually do it at this point in time. And as I've been saying, I'm going to choose, if we continue to move to the downside, if we start to see any sharp wicks, that's when I'm most interested. What we can see here, good morning, PG in the chat. Good morning, ZZ. Good morning, Rob. Thank you very much for tuning in. Rob says, morning, thank you. You need to come back. Bitcoin price prefers you in the UK. That's what it seems. That's what it seems. But I like this kind of price action when I'm in the UK because I'm constantly on it and I'm constantly able to adjust some positions and make some trades. But while I'm away in the sunshine, it's not as easy to make those trades. I don't like to trade when I'm on holiday. I like to relax when I'm on holiday, but Bitcoin doesn't let me do that. So let's see what's going on here. ZZ says, which memes are you buying, holding, Jess? I don't buy and hold many meme coins for the long term. If I'm buying a meme coin, I'm just entering and exiting very, very quickly to make some quick profits if I think the hype is there and the community is there. But I'm not holding any meme coins right now. Not trading any meme coins right now. I'm just looking closely at Bitcoin and Ethereum because we're dumping. I mean, as I always say on these streams, when I'm looking at my portfolio, I'm always looking to take the least amount of risk. And when you're looking at risk versus reward, at the first part of the cycle, you can get good rewards from the high cap coins. Then it shifts to the mid cap coins and then the low cap coins. So while we're at this first part of the cycle, there's still a huge amount of opportunity, I believe, in the high cap coins, in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that's where my focus is. Yes, there are some low cap coins that can perform incredibly well and outperform these, but I like to take on the least amount of risk. And we have this opportunity here where the less risky assets, typically, which are the high cap coins, still have a huge amount of rewards in them. So that is what I'm attracted to right now, obviously, as time goes on. we will have to start to take on more risk to get those rewards. And as time goes on, the markets get riskier and riskier and riskier. I've been reading a lot of comments actually on crypto Twitter about this cycle being shorter than previous cycles. It's making me very nervous about that. I feel very nervous about that. If we take a quick look at what's going on the Bitcoin chart here, you can see we are still dumping here. So this isn't giving any signs that this jump is over just yet. Maybe we will be heading down to lower prices. If we take a look here at the high that we reached at 73,770 to the low that we have wicked at 65,560. You can see we've had an 11% drop there so far. Now we have retraced a little bit, so we're looking at a 9.4% drop, but we know Bitcoin is capable of 20, 30% pullbacks in a bull market. So if we take a look at this and actually measure this, you can see that we do have the potential to move all the way down. Let's pull this out even further to around $50,500. And it not seem abnormal. Now, obviously, we can go lower than that. But if we go down to $50,500, we're still in the typical fluctuations of a bull market. So we couldn't really be shocked at that price point. Now, that's not saying that's definitely going to happen with these Bitcoin ETFs. We're seeing a huge amount of inflows every single day, accumulation every single day, which is holding the price up significantly. But we do need to realize that they are still possible. And just because the ETFs are here doesn't mean we're not going to see significant pullbacks. We have already actually seen a 22% pullback since the Bitcoin ETFs went live. So it is 100% possible. Whether it's likely is a different question, but we do need to be aware that the scenario can play out in that way. So that's what we're looking at right now for Bitcoin and Ethereum. If we take a look at Ethereum is actually very closely almost, if we go to the 4-hour chart here and we take a look at the levels that we were looking at in yesterday's stream, you can see we've used that previous level of resistance as a resistance once again there at the $3,880 level. So we have seen a confirmation dance of that and headed down to lower levels. However long that will hold for is a different question. I think Ethereum is very much closely related to Bitcoin at this point, and if Bitcoin continues to dump, then we could expect that for Ethereum as well. But definitely worth keeping an eye on here. We've also seen some altcoins take a big significant move to the downside as well, which I'm seeing as an opportunity here. We've got Polkadot down 12%, definitely something I'm looking to accumulate. We're looking at Chainlink down over 10%. We've got some altcoins that have not dropped so much, like Tron down only 3%. So a big mixed bag here, but that we are seeing moving to the downside. Solana's price has held well here with less than a 1% move to the downside, despite Bitcoin's pullback. So if we take a look at the Solana Bitcoin chart, we can see here, that's not a bad chart at all. If you're holding Solana, then congratulations. That's a really nice chart to be looking at. Let's take a look at some altcoins versus Bitcoin in this dump. So we are seeing Polkadot as being outperformed by Bitcoin within the last 24 hours. If we take a look at the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, Ethereum has been outperformed by Bitcoin significantly, but since this dip has really started, Ethereum has been outperforming Bitcoin. If we take a look at Solana BTC, did we just look at this? Solana Bitcoin, yeah, we've just looked at this. It's been outperforming Bitcoin for a very long time here and has had a slight pullback within the last 4 hours, but Bitcoin has had a 7.6% pullback in the last 24 hours versus Solana's less than 1%. So congratulations to the Solana holders there. Good morning, Robbie. Good morning, Oka. Good morning, Bikeman. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, we very much appreciate it. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest day currency news. We do these live streams every single weekday, and we are not going to stop. So make sure to tune in, hit that bell notification button so you do not miss it. We also have some interviews with different projects on this YouTube channel every single week. So make sure to subscribe and check that out because we've been interviewing some really interesting projects recently. We interviewed Orange and lots of others as well. So make sure to check those streams out if you have not already. But let's crack on now and take a look at some other factors that could affect the Bitcoin price within the next couple of days. We do need to be aware that today is Friday, so we will see a lack of volumes over the weekend. We won't see the impact of the Bitcoin ETFs, and we may see some sideways action / the continuation of this downward momentum. We can't expect huge volatility on the weekends typically. Sometimes we do see it. We can't rule it out, but just we normally expect a little bit of slower price action. And that is why I'm saying I'm not overly I'm not overly bullish on the fact that we'll get back to the previous price levels we've seen within the last couple of weeks today, because it's Friday, if we continue to see the price range at this zone on the Bitcoin chart for the rest of today, I find it hard to imagine Bitcoin pick up the pace and get back to $73,000 over the weekend. As I would say, it is possible, but just looking at the likelihood, if Bitcoin stays here and the markets close tonight, if we see some sideways action here, it's not going to make me feel confident, because we'll be seeing consolidation at this price point. And then, as I said, typically we do see a big wick down before a big move to the upside. Not necessarily, though. If we take a look at Monday here, this is when the markets opened on Monday. We saw a huge pump. So maybe we should wait to see what happens when the American markets open this afternoon, because if they're bearish, then we're in for a real dip. If they're bullish and we start to see the price start to build back to the upside, then we can start feeling a little bit more confident. I think that's really the trigger there that we need to be waiting for. We've got about 2 hours until the American markets open, and that will really decide the direction here for the rest of the day and really give us an insight over what to expect from the weekend. But if we stay around these levels or even dump further, then I am actually going to be expecting the potential of a 20% pullback there. So we'll be looking at around the $60,000 level. If we see a nice pump at 2 o'clock when the American markets open, we can start to feel a bit more positive again, and may even consider buying the dip. And if we just see sideways action here, then again, I will be slightly nervous. Not super bearish, but just not super bullish either. So we'll have to wait and see how that is. Obviously, we will be reporting back here on Monday, so make sure to stay tuned until then and press the like, subscribe, and the bell notification button so you don't miss that update when it does come out. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Good morning, Spud. Thank you very much for tuning in. Boris says, hi, Jess, I'm holding Solana. I did say a short while ago on your channel, if the price breaks $106, we are off to the races. And the next price target is $250 in the short term. Solana has very much been holding its price despite this move to the downside. So very nice price action there. Congratulations on that purchase. Let's take a look at what else is going on in the crypto news here then. In terms of liquidation levels, this is a good chart to be looking at. This can give us a little bit more confident here. ZZ says, can you check the charts to see longs and shorts for Bitcoin, please? Well, we're seeing here that there's a huge amount of liquidations if the price surpasses $72,700. There is a magnet there that we do need to be aware of on the shorter time frame. That means that if we go up to that price point, a huge amount of short traders will get liquidated. And we all know that Bitcoin likes to take the path of most pain. Is this magnet enough? That's the real question here. I honestly think we need to wait for the American markets to open this afternoon, because that will be the deciding factor here. If we zoom out a little bit further, we're getting some strong liquidations on this chart time frame too. This is really important. $73,360 there is a magnet. If we're looking at 3 days, if we go out to 1 month, we can see if there are any here. We're looking at a significant amount of $50,000. Is that significant enough to pull us to the downside? Potentially. I think it is all in the American markets. I don't want to fall too bearish too quickly, because I think the American markets opening can really has the potential to support this price point. But also, if we're seeing a lot of fear enter the American markets this morning very quickly, then we do need to be cautious. Rob says, remember, it's 2:30 in UK. American markets will open at different time where you are. Yeah, make sure it's in about 2 hours time. So check that out if you're not in the UK for better time zones. You might be talking to me. I'm in the same time zone, so it's okay. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Fear and greed index is at 83, so it has come down slightly. This is good. This is important. I don't like to see this approaching the 90s level. That scares me. So just something to be keeping an eye on there. Nothing too important. Let's take a look though at what's going on in the cryptocurrency news today, because we've got some really interesting articles today, actually. I know I say that every day, but I think today's are exceptionally interesting. So make sure to stay tuned until the very end. Jonathan says, bear trap in flow. Potentially here, yes. I mean, I'm not shorting this market, especially after we've seen a dip. This is like, shorting now is like longing at the top. I don't long when we've got green candles, and I don't short when we've got red candles. If I had to enter a trade now, well, actually, I wouldn't enter a trade now, but I will only enter a long if we're seeing a dip like this. Like I just said, yesterday I did enter a long position on that dip, made a small amount of profits, but then I did get stopped out when I put my stop loss in a profit. So this is the market where I'm looking to long, not to short, essentially. Let's see what's going on in the news here, though. So first of all miners would be in profit post-halving above $63,000. So we did see some articles like this a couple of months ago. So essentially, the Bitcoin inflation rate is going to be halved in the middle of April. And at that point, miners are essentially going to receive half the amount of Bitcoin than they do now. So instead of receiving 6.25 Bitcoin per block, they're only receiving 3.125 Bitcoin. And that is a massive problem because mining companies need to pay for all their hardware, the electricity, the fans, the warehouses, everything that they need to mine Bitcoin costs a lot of money. So they need to make sure that their incomings are higher than their outgoings. And how can they do that when the amount of Bitcoin they're receiving is getting slashed in half? Well, they just need the Bitcoin price to be higher. So when we were first talking about this, Bitcoin was at about $40,000, and we were looking at the mining companies and we were saying, look, we need to see Bitcoin have a significant move to the upside for these mining companies to continue to operate. Now, the Bitcoin halving has historically caused a bull market, and we have historically seen these kinds of articles every kind of 4 years when we approach the Bitcoin halving, and every 4 years it tends to work out because Bitcoin does pump. And that's the same situation we've seen here. So for these mining companies to continue to spend all of that money on the hardware, on the electricity, on the rent of their warehouse, on the fans to keep the computers cool, we need to see Bitcoin above $63,000. And right now, Bitcoin's holding that. Bitcoin is holding that, and we have the potential to move even higher. As I've been saying over and over again on these streams, we see these fearful articles before halvings every single time. I don't necessarily see them as a bad thing. If some of the major mining companies do decide they can't operate or they need to downsize, it's not a bad thing for the Bitcoin network because we are then seeing more decentralization, but it's likely that the Bitcoin price is going to move to the upside because that's what we've seen every other cycle, and these mining companies will be able to continue as before. And that's exactly what's happened so far. So nothing to be concerned about. I think this article is quite positive here. So we are seeing that we had this concern back when Bitcoin was at $40,000, and it showed that out of the top 15, 12, I don't know how many are there, mining companies in the world, a lot of them did need to see Bitcoin be, only 2 of them would be able to continue to operate if Bitcoin stayed at that $40,000 level. But since we've seen the price increase, it's absolutely fine. So their Bitcoin value is going to be halved. The amount of income they're making in Bitcoin is going to be halved, but the price of Bitcoin has increased so significantly that the dollar value still supports the amount of dollars they're spending to run these mining companies every single day. So absolutely fine there. All of the concerns have subsided for now, unless Bitcoin takes a huge tumble. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Let's see what's going on here. If no miner changed operating procedures, Bitcoin would have to trade at roughly $124,000 for the least efficient miner, ARK-K, to obtain the profit it currently gains per Bitcoin. At the time of writing, this would be around $5,000 per Bitcoin extracted using its 62,276 operating cost per Bitcoin in the report. So you can see how expensive it is to run a mining company there. Let's see what's going on here. Rob C says the clock in the US has gone forward hour the other day, Rob. See, it's also confusing. The USA Stock Exchange opens at 1:30 p.m. UK time now, says Rob C. Thank you very much for that update there. So hard to keep track of these things. Constantly changing, aren't they? Let's take a look at what else is going on in the cryptocurrency news here. But please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We've got 30 people watching on YouTube right now. That's the best we've had this week. It seems that since we're not in the normal office, we've not been getting the views in, but we're starting to get that back. So please make sure to like and help us with the stream. It really does help. If you interact in the live chat, like the stream, comment down below at the end of the stream. It helps the stream a lot. So please make sure to do that. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Can I see how many of you? We've got 458 people watching this stream right now between YouTube and Twitter. So big numbers here because everybody wants to know what's going on in the cryptocurrency news today after that significant drop last night. So let's continue through this and see what else is happening. $680 million in positions were liquidated as Bitcoin fell below the $70,000 level. It was mainly long positions that suffered liquidation. We didn't really see a massive whip to the upside. We just saw Bitcoin drop. 191,989 traders were liquidated, with a total of $680 million in positions liquidated from the market. Of these, the largest liquidation occurred on OKX with a value of $13.3 million. So the longs were caught offside here. We're all super bullish in the long term. And we need to factor in the price increase within. That was such a bad stutter. Within the last couple of months, I think a pullback is healthy. At the end of the day, it's going to help us build some levels of support. But obviously, a lot of people have been liquidated here as expected. Let's continue on to the next article here and see what's going on. So there's a new trend on cryptocurrency Twitter, which is Choose Rich. This article is going into detail about this. Choose Rich is a trend started by Nick O'Neill, of co-founder and CEO of the Nifty portal and Bodoggo's NFT collection. The Choose Rich trend began when Nick and his colleagues posted a picture on a yacht with the caption, "This is who you're trading against." The tweet has totaled 45 million views at the time of writing, going viral on the internet and expanding out of the border of crypto Twitter. And he has told a reporter, "My team flew to Miami to do an offsite. One day we decided to rent a boat, have the team together and have a couple of drinks. There were people who had sort of been posting a 'this is who you're trading against' meme, and I decided to do something similar, but post a picture of us. And as that started to take off, we spontaneously decided to make a video." Nick then created a sarcastic video directed at the haters where he mentioned a mindset of choosing rich. The video gained huge traction, with CoffeeZilla making a video on Nick. With the emerging attention, Nick began to play into the Choose Rich character, making videos that would appear to fuel the haters. And this just performs so well all over the internet right now. If you fuel the haters, you will get engagement and you will grow. I don't think the haters understand this. This involved a champagne bottle he claimed cost $5,000, having his own private movie theater, and owning his own helicopter pad. To those who knew Nick was playing into the emerging hate, the videos were obviously sarcastic. However, many in crypto Twitter outside the industry believe Nick was making the videos with total sincerity. Mainstream media have caught mainstream media's attention here. People went on to make an everydays of Nick's new trademark phrase. However, Nick also began to get the attention of people outside of CT. He appeared on Dave Portnoy's morning show, Davey Day Trader. He also made it into meme pages on Instagram. So it's been going pretty viral here. Obviously, if you know it's sarcastic, then it's funny. If you don't, you're going to get triggered, and then it causes the hate comments, which then helps the algorithm, and it's just going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. Let's see what's going on here in the chat. Jonathan says, "What's happening? Bitcoin is happening." Rob sees laughing at that. I feel I've been robbed, says Jonathan. Crypto Cody, thank you very much for tuning in. As always, let's take a look at what's going on in the next article here. A bit of a funny trend going on crypto Twitter. It's good to keep the entertainment high when Bitcoin is low. Let's take a look at what else is going on here. So judge rules that Craig Wright is not Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto. So the judge ruled that Wright is neither Nakamoto nor the creator of the Bitcoin system and white paper. He has said that there was kind of like they needed to say he is not the creator, he did not write the white paper, and he is not Satoshi Nakamoto. It was like 3 different phrases they needed to say to like complete. It wasn't just, "Are you Satoshi, yes or no?" They had to say, "You are not this, X, Y, and Z." Jonathan says, "You don't have enough haters, Jess. You need to be more nasty." Yeah, maybe that would help the engagement. Let's take a look at what's going on here, though. I mean, I think a lot of us thought this anyway. I don't think the judge ruling this is going to change many people's opinions. There's 2 very strong parties when it comes to the Craig Wright argument. You either think he's Satoshi or he is not. I personally don't think he is. A lot of people are saying, what happens if it's ruled that he is Satoshi? And I don't think that would have changed anything either, because we've all made our own opinions. Everybody in crypto has gone down the rabbit hole of crypto and everybody that cares whether it's Craig Wright or not has gone down that rabbit hole too. And we've all made our own conclusions. Now, a judge in America saying he's Satoshi isn't really going to change many people's opinions. We've all got the initiative to do our own research and find that out for ourselves. So if you believe that it is him, this judge ruling probably isn't going to change your opinion. And if you believe that it isn't, if the judge ruled that it was, it wouldn't change your opinion either. So I don't think this has much impact. But that's the conclusion they've come to here. So the judge concluded a years-long debate and 6-week trial on the 14th of March with a ruling that countered Wright's claims of being the creator of Bitcoin. The judge said the evidence the Crypto Open Patent Alliance brought against the computer scientist was strong and overwhelming. So he's lost again. In the past few years, Wright has sued several entities for copyright violations relating to the Bitcoin white paper. So this is essentially why it's so important, because he's tried to sue entities for copyright violations of Bitcoin. It's been insane. So what's happened is COPA has come together, the Crypto Open Patent Alliance has come together and proved that he isn't Craig Wright, so he can't make those copyright claims. Rob says, don't think she could be nasty if she tried. Thank you very much, Rob. That's very sweet. Let's see what else is going on here in the next article. So we've got $650,000 raised to put with on the Vegas Sphere. The goal has been reached to advertise the meme coin on the Sphere. So the $650,000 target to display dog with hat on the Vegas Sphere has been reached. The funds will be used to advertise the ticket image of a dog with a hat on the Vegas Strip landmark. So the community has met the target. The top for meme coins, or will the show go on? The We're fundraiser is undoubtedly a landmark event for meme coins. However, after such an emphatic run, could this event mark the top? I mean, meme coins have been pumping for a very long time. This is absolutely insane to see this kind of marketing. This is either kind of like a massive push for the sector, or it is a top signal. And it's really hard to tell the difference here, I think, because when NFTs were going insane, there was clearly a top signal when we were seeing things like this happen. So there's two really strong directions this could go here, and I'm very interested to see which one that will go. As I said, meme coins, I'm quickly in and out of these kind of things. I'm not really investing for the long term. There are some people that do and make huge amounts of money. It's just not really my thing. So I'll be watching this from the sidelines and seeing how that plays out. Let's take a look at what else is going on here in the news. We're still on meme coins here. We did report on this in yesterday's stream. We're talking about Doge here and Elon Musk, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Before we do though, please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We do these live streams every single weekday. I would appreciate if you tune in with us every single weekday, so make sure to hit like, subscribe, press the bell notification button, comment in the live chat. Let's see what's going on here. Crypto Cody says we're on Sphere, it's pullback time for sure. I mean, if it's going to be in line, if we're looking at the rest of the markets as well, when the rest of the markets are coming back, there is potential for that. I'm really interested, but as I said, I am watching this one from the sidelines because it could be a strong bull or it could be a strong bear. And I'm not convinced I know which one it's going to be. But let me know what your thoughts are in the chat. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So Elon Musk has said that Tesla will accept Doge payments at some point. Let's take a look at how Doge is performing here. If we go to Doge, you can see it has been involved in this pullback. We are down at 15 cents. We did get as high as 20 cents. It's down about 13.59% within the last 24 hours. But I still think, I think this news is okay. I'm very tired of Elon Musk affecting the prices allegedly. Bitcoin had pumped massively when Elon Musk first tweeted that Tesla were going to accept Bitcoin as a means of payments. And then it dumped massively. This is all back in 2021, when Elon Musk said, Tesla will not be accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment. And now we are seeing Tesla to accept Doge payments at some point, according to a tweet he has made. Oh, okay, so it wasn't a tweet. This is the confusion we got in yesterday's stream. We thought it was a tweet on yesterday's stream. People were commenting in the live chat, but it was actually when he was speaking on stage and answering a Dogecoin question. So he said, at some point, I think we should enable that. You can buy Tesla merch with Doge, which I think is cool. So Dogecoin to the moon. He said, lots of rich people are supporting Bitcoin. And I was like, if people on the line want me to support Doge, I'll support Doge. On Thursday, Doge rallied 15% to a daily high of roughly 19 cents on the news that Tesla may accept the meme coin for its cars. Since then, the price has retraced slightly and remains 7% up on the day. I mean, when things like this happen, it does sort of form a Bart Simpson kind of thing, chart pattern. For those of you that don't know, it's kind of when the price goes up and then we go sideways and then it retraces back to where it was, or vice versa. So it goes down, sideways, and then back to where it was. And we call it the Bart Simpson because it looks like his head. So that's kind of what we've seen on the price chart when we see news like this for different cryptocurrencies over time. And that seems to be what's happened again. In fact, we can pull this up and see on the Doge USDT chart. So we haven't seen a bot as such, but we have seen a pump here. If we go to the 1 hour chart, it didn't hold for long enough and not significantly enough, but this is kind of the effect that we're getting here. Now we are retracing with the rest of the market. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. When he actually announces that it can be used, it'll be interesting. People might be buying the dip on Doge ready to buy a Tesla at a lower price, because if you buy Doge now and then it pumps and then you buy a Tesla with it, you could be buying a Tesla for a fraction of the price that it actually costs at the time. But also, how do we know Doge is going to continue pumping? I think it depends on the meme coin sector and on Bitcoin as well here. Jonathan says things are toppy, to be honest, aren't they? But I think that it's probably a buy signal. Yeah, I mean, for the different sectors, obviously they all have their different times to shine. The meme coin sector has been pumping for a couple of weeks now, and we did already see it pump about 6 months ago. So I think where's the article gone? I think the fact that WIV is on the Vegas sphere, I have some questions around it. Because it does remind me of the peak at the NFT bubble. But I mean, if Bitcoin's going to continue going to the downside, people do start to look to other sectors for different gains. This is either I feel like this is either super bullish or super bearish, and I am going to be standing on the sidelines to find out. Let's take a look at what else is going on here. So finally, we did see the Denkin upgrade on Ethereum, and it has sent layer 2 transactions to 1 cent and below. So the mainnet upgrade is showing impressive efficiency increases on layer 2s. So Ethereum's Denkin upgrade went live on the mainnet. So essentially, this upgrade was to create more scalability and lower transaction fees for layer 2s on the network. This does not lower gas fees for Ethereum transactions, but it does for protocols built on the Ethereum blockchain. So trading in Uniswap on Optimism now costs less than $0.01 in gas. Let's go. We're scaling Ethereum. Huge shout out to everyone involved in shipping Denkin. 100% agree. That is a huge improvement. So a screenshot of the Uniswap token on Optimism that cost 1 cent in fees is a massive reduction. We've been seeing stupidly high fees within the last couple of weeks, once again, since the prices of Ethereum has started rising and the demand started to rise. We have seen a Base contributor tweet how Denkin has massively benefited Base. That is from Coinbase, the centralized exchange. They made a layer 2 solution on Ethereum. We are seeing also that transactions to send ETH were 31 cents on a layer 2 platform as well. They have now reduced to 1 cent. And we are seeing that the Denkin upgrade, we're seeing wallets need to update to handle these reductions. We're seeing huge improvements here. Coinbase's CEO, Brian Armstrong, has said this is huge, reducing transaction fees and confirming times on layer 2 will open up so many more use cases for crypto. We're finally getting scalability. And this is something we've been talking about a lot. I've always stood by the fact that I don't think Ethereum has an Ethereum killer. I don't think any other decentralized application platform will be able to surpass Ethereum in terms of market cap, because Ethereum is constantly getting improved upon, because Ethereum is a household name, and because Ethereum has that longevity behind it, that history behind it of being the #1 decentralized application platform. And I think seeing improvements like this even solidifies that thesis more for me, because look, we are improving the scalability, we are constantly improving the network. We've seen some developments that not everybody agrees with, for example the merge, but we are seeing the Ethereum Foundation make steps forward to have scalability, to increase the security and the decentralization, although we may have seen some step backs in some instances. For example, the decentralization when we merged from proof of work to proof of stake, we are still seeing improvements being made and questions being asked about how we can improve the network further. And I do believe that's going to help continue to keep it at #2 in terms of market cap in the cryptocurrency space. Jonathan says in the chat, since I bought WIF on the 14th of December, I've not been down for a minute. WIF will surpass Ethereum. Imagine if that day happens, I'm out. I quit. Let's see what's going on here. Rob says sold out the other day with huge token unlock coming tomorrow. Put profits in other layer 2s. Very nice. I think it is important to keep an eye on unlocks, especially in this time of the markets. Jonathan says, I mean, the fact I realized its toppy could be a buy signal. So it's always the way, isn't it? When you think you're ahead of the curve, it just does the opposite. But that's the fun of being in crypto. Let's take a look through some altcoins before we close off today's stream. We've got 37 people watching on YouTube right now and only 19 likes. So please make sure, 20 likes. Thank you very much. So please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Let's take a look here. So Doge is pumping now within the last couple of minutes. We take a look at BTC USDT. We are seeing Bitcoin making a little bit of retracement here. As I said, I think we are really dependent on the American markets opening, which will be in, somebody's just said, Rob says Google says 230. It's 130, I think. Can somebody please confirm that in the chat? Where did we go? Who says this? Somebody said this earlier in today's stream. The US stock exchange opens at 1:30 UK time today because the clocks changed last week. According to the live chat. So thank you very much for keeping me informed there. So I think the direction that we choose at 1:30 will be the direction that we will continue in. And we do have to remember that it is the weekend tomorrow. So wherever we close today, we'll give as much more insight on what's happening here and what to expect next week. But we will go over that on Monday's stream and talk about that in detail about what to expect next week. So make sure to stay tuned. Rob says, I forgot to hit the like. You haven't reminded us enough today. Well, I need to remind you. It helps with the stream so much. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button. I'll say it one more time for good luck. Rob C says, have a great holiday. Thank you very much. I am going to tune off in just a second and go and sit in the sunshine. But let's quickly take a look at Ethereum here. Having a slight bounce on the 30-minute chart. On the 4-hour chart, we are seeing a pullback here. We are down as much as, if we go to the top at 4,000, almost 4,100. We have been down over 12% within the last 24 hours. So we are seeing significant pullbacks here. But I mean, I'm not doing anything until the American markets open. If the American markets send it down, then we could be in for a typical bull market pullback where it does last for a couple of weeks. But if the American markets push it back up again, Jonathan says, Jess, even the US markets open, will BlackRock buy a ton of Bitcoin to fulfill the ETF orders? If so, bullish. Well, yeah, if the American markets open and we do see the Bitcoin ETFs continue to drive the markets to the upside, then I don't think we will have such a long pullback like we've seen in previous cycles this time around. So that will really be the indicator there. And I'm not making any changes until that time is hit and we do see some sort of direction. If we just see sideways action at that point in time, which I think is the least likely scenario, then I'm even more cautious of what's to come, and I'll be standing on the sidelines still waiting for a definitive answer on Monday. But that's what's happening there. I think that is all we have time for in today's stream. That's all I have time for anyway, because I'm off to sit in the sunshine. That's all for today. Thank you very much for watching, and we will be back here on Monday, so make sure to stay tuned. Hit subscribe, press the like button, press the bell notification button, and I will see you all back here on Monday. Thank you, and goodbye.